News Alert.
And that breaking news, another day of Portland State University closing campus as demonstrators occupy the library. Welcome to KOIN 6 News at 4 o'clock. I'm Jenny Hansen.
And I'm Todd Unger. We've got more team coverage tonight. We're getting answers from the university and state leaders, and we're tracking hour by hour what is happening at college campuses across the country. Let's start with Joelle Jones. She is live tonight at PSU. Joelle, what's the latest?
Well, Todd, Portland State University says a group of about 50 students left early this morning after staff representatives entered the library to try to find some common ground. About an hour ago, we saw about a bunch of food being delivered, enough to feed about 30 people. But with students still coming and going, it's hard to know just how many protesters are inside and just how many of those are students. So far, though, the protest has remained mostly peaceful, though we have seen some heated exchanges between counter protesters, frustrated students, and those dressed in black holding the barricade line.
This is absolutely not the way to go about it, not even remotely. You know, I think that whatever support they had, they've probably lost.
People in Portland want this school open. Free the Jewish hostages now, PSU. See, they're not here to help.
Yeah, those tensions are rising in front of the Portland State University Library on day 3 of the occupation protests in support of Palestine. This comes as University President Ann Cudd shared an email this morning claiming efforts to negotiate with students failed overnight after students allegedly backed out of an agreement to vacate the library by 1:30 this morning in exchange for the university's promise to not criminally charge, expel, suspend, or alter the status of students participating. Cudd writing in part, "I wish that the students in the library had signed on to our agreement, but after their negotiators told us they had a deal, they apparently chose not to sign." Approximately 50 students left on their own accord. Yet protesters claim students are only standing their ground until demands, including cutting ties with Boeing, are met.
We'll start replacing windows, start cleaning graffiti. I mean, that's not the message. The graffiti isn't the message. The message is there's babies are being killed. And there's evil going on. The establishment is doing what they have done for way too long, and everybody's tired of it.
Additionally, Cudd claims that she promised a personal donation to school groups that support the Middle East and that she agreed to meet with student leaders on May 17th to continue those negotiations. Still, protesters here on the ground say that email and the agreement failed to, really address the primary concerns that they're hearing from students. So we will continue to track this closely. But for now, live from the South Park blocks, I'm Joelle Jones, KOIN 6 News.
All right, Joelle, always a lot of moving parts with these situations. We'll check in with you at 5 o'clock.
And KOIN 6 also getting a look inside PSU's library. Protesters led our reporter Elise Haas in last night. A vandalism including graffiti, broken glass, and smashed computers could be seen throughout the library. Elise says the people inside were kind and respectful when speaking with her. They told her they would only allow photos and video to be taken if there were not any faces in the images.
One big question tonight for PSU, the police and the DA. What is now being done to get the protesters actually out of the library? Ariel Salt continuing our team coverage with that angle.
Yeah, we just got a press release from PPB saying that they are working with PSU and other local leaders to find a resolution by using de-escalation. I also reached out to PSU and they said that they're still open to those negotiated terms and want to talk to protesters about their concerns. They tell us after speaking with police, the decision to close the campus was out of fear that the protesters would occupy other buildings on campus and for the safety of the school. But why hasn't PPB just stormed in? Why are we seeing how police are reacting to occupiers on other campuses across the country, including Columbia University, where you see police in riot gear storming into the campus? PPB says time is a tactic of de-escalation. So we asked an expert why police here are handling the occupation differently than other cities across the country.
Really, it depends on the context of the challenge that they're facing. So there is information and intelligence for Portland that, hey, our best tactic here is to give this time.
I asked how much time is too much time. When do they think they know the tactic needs to change? And he says generally when protesters start injuring others and damaging property could trigger police to adjust how they address this occupation. Now, there's an online post going around that's claiming that the DA told police that he wasn't going to prosecute. We reached out to the DA's office and they said that's absolutely not true. They do plan to press charges against people who went from protesting peacefully to creating or to performing criminal behaviors. Reporting live at PSU, Ariel Salk, KOIN 6 News.
Well, the Oregon House Republican leader releasing a statement of his own about the PSU occupation. Rep. Jeff Helfrich saying, quote, PSU's president hasn't learned the biggest lesson from the past few years. You can't appease the mob. It only encourages more chaos in the future. These students and outsiders choose to commit crimes. We need decisive action now. Let law enforcement do their jobs and end the occupation of the library. People who intimidate others and deface public property need to be held accountable.